Hello, everyone, and welcome to the GnWC Weekly. And I am the Duke, and with me is my good buddy.
I am Cy Sims, and a well-educated consumer is our best customer.
Actually, no, that's Angry Larry. Angry
Ah,
Larry.
sorry.
That's what it
Hello.
says on the screen. And we are going to talk about Survivor Series, and it's really just going to be some interesting thoughts we've had. Well, we think they're interesting thoughts that we've had about Survivor Series. Not necessarily a full rundown. If you want that, like a preview type show, we've also done that, and you can click here for that. But otherwise, I'm going to let Larry anchor this one, and he's going to start us off with news and notes. Is that right?
Yeah, I got a couple quick items here, Duke. We did record the Survivor Series preview show a couple days ago. The other two nationwide wrestling companies in America, Ring of Honor and TNA, have landed new TV deals. They'll no longer be on Destination America when their contract runs out. Ring of Honor is going to be on the Comet Network starting in December 2nd, and that is a Sinclair Broadcasting Network, and it does and will reach more homes than Destination America.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
check your listings for that. And TNA Impact Wrestling will premiere January 5th on Pop TV, which is the former TV Guide network. And again, that has a pretty good sized audience, probably more than Destination America.
That probably has
So
more than
that's
two Destination Americas. I mean, TV
it,
Guide
it
channel is
probably
just
does.
it's just there.
I
You know.
thought I thought Optimum, the former Cablevision in New York, had a TV Guide network, but apparently it doesn't. But FiOS, DirecTV, Dish Network, they all have it. So
Okay.
right then and there, you're already in more homes than Destination America.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. Cool.
But on that as well, Destination America brought in Ring of Honor. It appears, and this is coming to light, and it might be a lawsuit too. Destination America brought in Ring of Honor to saturate and water down TNA's ratings, because if TNA's ratings hit a certain mark, it was going to be auto renewal for their TV show.
Whoa.
So, kind of a little bit of a sabotage, and it might see some legal light, or it might just be dropped altogether and just it's kind of like speculation. I guess you can't prove it, so who knows what will happen there. But let's turn our thoughts to Survivor Series this Sunday, only on the WWE Network,
And
or
everywhere else.
or everywhere else.
Right.
Uh, let's talk about the championship, the tournament, the whole Final Four that they have going on
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Duke, let me. I believe from the prediction show, you have the same final as I have: Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, it seems like
So
the obvious thing. Yep.
yeah, so take a few minutes and let us know, like, who do you think's going to win and why?
Okay, I'm picking Dean Ambrose, and for a couple of reasons. Uh, I feel like they're not really sure what to do to really get Reigns over. So his story has become, and they've sort of played it up this way. His story has become the Daniel Bryan story, where he just keeps getting knocked down, keeps getting knocked down, keeps getting knocked down. Now the difference between he and Daniel Bryan was that Daniel Bryan had a significant indie career that everyone that people gradually became aware of, and that got him over more and more and more and more and more. Reigns, not so much. He's a big hit with some crowds. He's a big miss with some crowds. So, and it's not just the wrestling hipster towns like up in the Northeast and stuff like that. No offense, by the way. Um, but so it's hard to get Reigns over, and uh, kind of I don't know. Your next chapter is either he becomes a heel or someone betrays him and becomes a heel, and it feels like they've really been hinting that that's going to be Dean Ambrose. With the recent interview, the Cole interview with Triple H, which I believe I talked about on our previous show, but just words that Triple H used during that interview when he was talking about, the guy who wins the title is going to be this. And he used things like crazy and stuff. The words they always use to describe Dean Ambrose. So I would pick Dean Ambrose for the win of the tournament with some sort of heel turn moment, you know, whether it be there's some sort of interference and Ambrose doesn't stop the interference and it leads to him getting the title, or he just straight up, actually, does a very serious turn. Yeah, but really they need to be separated anyway. They need to be rivals, not. It's only better for Reigns because we all expect that Reigns is just going to keep rolling through to WrestleMania or something or some big event and be in the title picture and like be significantly in the title picture, like maybe trading it back and forth with somebody or something like that. So most fans expect that just because of what we've been dealing with for the past couple of years on that. Um, I I will say, just a quick little side note, Reigns has improved a lot when creative doesn't throw him to the wolves. And by throw him to the wolves, I mean make him go out and recap his entire storyline for the past 3 months. Because WWE still thinks that we don't remember what happened last week or the week before or the week before or the week before. So they send people out to recap stuff. And when you send guys out that don't necessarily talk on the fly that well, that it gets a little boring and more long-winded than me, which is saying something. So Dean Ambrose with a heel turn. Not sure if it's like a full heel turn, like where he joins the Authority, or if it's more of like an Austin type heel turn where he turns on his buddy because he wants the championship, but then he turns on but he's not actually with the Authority. It's not just a good match; it's a legit heel turn, but he's sort of a standalone type heel, not someone that's wanting to be part of a group. So
Right.
I could see that working out better for him since he's like unstable and all that stuff. That's how they sell him really hard. Well, that's kind of how he's always been, even as John Moxley. So yeah, so that's what I got. Ambrose
Yeah, and
going over.
I can certainly see that, and I can certainly see the shadiness of Ambrose letting him win the title, and then the heel turn on Raw in the ring when Roman Reigns is being humble and celebrating with him or something, and then
Sure.
boom, dirty deeds or something. I'm gonna go the other way though. I'm still gonna have the same final as you, as I mentioned before,
Okay.
Reigns and Ambrose. I think, and I'm definitely contradicting this by saying something later in this
Right.
podcast.
Right.
But from a few pure like, I'm going to be like Mr. Vanilla picking picking a winner here. I'm gonna say Reigns wins and gets his moment, but gets his moment almost in like the double reverse swerve sort of way, where you're thinking that Ambrose is always going to be the one to turn, and then
Right.
somehow Reigns wins with the sledgehammer while the ref is down or something,
Right.
or
Right.
hits him with the belt or something, and Reigns is actually going to join the Authority and win. And then on Raw you get some sort of promo where it's like, can't beat him, join him kind of thing. My life is much better with the Authority. Now no one can stop me, or basic garbage like that. Because it's always better when the heel has the title, and then you get that culmination at WrestleMania where the face gets it back, or something like that.
Yeah.
But
The chase is over half the fun.
yeah, it's over half the fun now. As much as it'd be fun, like, excuse me, how much can we screw Roman Reigns?
Right.
And why will Roman Reigns always be screwed? We kind of saw that 2 years ago with Daniel Bryan, like you said.
Right.
How many times Daniel Bryan had a title stripped from him or taken a match away from him, and in such a way, like last year, Reigns won the Royal Rumble, and then they made him fight Rusev at Fastlane to go to WrestleMania anyway, even though he already won his spot.
Right. Right.
And then he had somebody interject into the match in Seth Rollins, and then there you go.
Yeah,
So
it's like
we've already
they're.
seen this.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's not just we saw it with Daniel Bryan. We've already seen it with Reigns too. And what annoys me about it is that everything you just said, where they break their own rules, is like they're breaking they're it's sort of when you're watching a movie about time travel, for instance, because this is the easiest. This is low hanging fruit. You're watching a movie about time travel, and they keep breaking their own rules about time travel, like Back to the Future, beloved series, right? But they constantly break their own rules that have been established very early in the franchise, and that's how this comes across to me. Is you've got these rules that are established, and you keep breaking them for the sense of for just trying to get this guy over in some way, and when ultimately, and I gotta be, and I know we can talk about this ad nauseum, and we'll do it another time, but I'll just kind of throw this out there. Ultimately, it is a lot more, and this is something I've sort of, hang on, let me say it, and I'll put the stinger on it, and I'll be done. The ultimately, it's up to the talent to really get themselves over, even if creative is kind of putting them in a hole. But that's something I've kind of turned the corner on recently, because I just started really thinking through the situation in the WWE right now with your leading man being on the outs with a major injury, and then that happening, this sort of being a repeat of things that happened 2 years ago with Brian. So anyway, but we can come back to that later. As far as you make yourself once you're in a top spot. Once you're in the top card, then a lot of it's on you. Not completely,
Yeah.
but a lot of it's on you. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we've seen this before with Reigns, and I think it's finally time. It's like, well, how can we keep trying to get him over, keep trying to sell him as a underdog because everyone's against him and everyone's trying to interject and interfere in, anyone but you, Roman, kind of thing. But now it's time to get out of it. And the best way to get out of this is to just turn it the other way. Like, I'm sick of this. I'm joining the Authority. I want to be a title. That's all I want the title. It's all I care about. So let's play a little word association, Duke.
All right. Okay.
I'm just jumping this on you. In the prep, I never even told you about this.
You're going to hurt me. Yeah, I'm probably going to say something dumb.
It's just one thing. One thing.
All right.
Just name the first wrestler that comes to your mind. Currently, worst promo in the business.
Eva Marie.
See, you were supposed to say Reigns, and I was going to say worse than Eva Marie. You're a jerk. Absolute jerk. How do I mute you?
You could.
And I can minus points. You got -3 for that, by the way. So, yeah, that whole deer in the headlights kind of crap. Oh my God, how do you not edit that? That was painful.
Yeah, I
would have edited that whole thing from the show, and I would have done something backstage instead.
Yeah, that's what should have been done. But Bayley, I think they kept that because Bayley was priceless. Bayley was fantastic. Her reaction to what was going on was awesome because she just rolled with it. She just like, that was kind of her attitude toward the whole thing.
she kind of even the whole.
She kind of egged it on.
Term. I think I finally saw a visual reference of the term cringeworthy. Like, I really think I saw her cringe.
Yeah.
And I'm not too sure.
Oh yeah, her shoulders kind of slumped.
Terrible.
She kind of got that Eddie Guerrero slump going on for just a second.
Oh God, that was oh my God, it's terrible. How if it wasn't for Total Divas, she would have been fired 2 years ago.
Well,
let go 2 years ago. Absolutely.
Well, and this match has already happened. It's probably happened in house shows a lot, of course. Yeah. But and so they've got something out there.
The match happened today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I said to you on Twitter. I'm staying off Twitter.
Right.
I saw something I didn't want to say.
Yeah, I just don't follow. I don't follow a lot of people because of stuff like that. I know like we like to cover this stuff, but I'm like, I just rather take the casual fan approach than be totally in the know because they're going to tell me stuff I don't want. It was
actually retweeted by a former wrestler.
Okay.
So I really wasn't like, it wasn't like a fan that did it. It was a retweet from a former wrestler. I saw something and I'm just like, crap.
You have to tell me afterward.
Okay, no problem.
But
all right.
But worst promo. I really don't think it's. I honestly don't think it's Reigns because I don't think Reigns holds a candle in worst promo to Ryback, and then of course Ryback not even close to Eva Marie.
At least Ryback has a little bit of energy in there, even if it's like Warrior-esque, where you're just like, I don't understand what feed me more means. Eating people in the ring. Is it feed me more energy? Because it's never been clarified to me. So I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know if the camera cuts away and
The
people
big
throw
guy's
popcorn
hungry.
at his mouth and he tries to catch it and we just don't see it on TV. So I don't know if that's the thing. But he looks like more like a peanut guy too. But by the way,
Yeah.
all right. So let's take a little bit more of an in-depth look at this card for Survivor Series.
All
We
right.
know the matches, we've covered the matches, but there is one mysterious match that's formally announced, but it has no competitors so far.
So
And
weird.
that is it's a 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match.
Duh. Why would you
Now,
not do that? But yes, no one is in
well,
it currently. Apparently, it's McMahon versus God again.
that was probably one of the better matches I've ever seen on TV. Was that Raw? I think that was Raw. Or no, maybe it
No,
was
no, no. McMahon
it was
versus God
pay-per-view, right?
was it like Unforgiven
New Year's
or
Revolution or
Vengeance or something
something.
like that. So
Yeah.
one
But
of the
okay,
minor shows.
so
Sorry.
theory crafting time.
All right.
I already gave a couple predictions on the preview show. What about you? We got 5-on-5. Logically, now, who do you think could
Logically.
be in this
All right.
match?
So this isn't Swerveland and crazy stuff that we've
No, this is
considered.
this is
This is
logically.
just
We're not going to
all right. All
elevate
right.
anybody from
So
NXT. We're not going to have a legend come back. We're not going to do any of those
okay.
things.
All right. Cool. Gotcha. So there's no reason to not have Cesaro in a match. And I
Right.
almost feel like you could have a team Cesaro because he's the most over guy almost in the company right now. Possibly in the company right now. I mean, you have people no one's carrying, such and such section to the arena, not in mass. People aren't taking a stack of signs and handing them out to everyone around them. Now maybe that's people just want to get on camera. Well, that's fine, but you're still holding up the sign, and so you're still
Right.
associated with his name. So, Cesaro, I don't know if it would be Team Cesaro, but he's going to be on the team. The New Day, obvious heel choice, and that's 3 competitors. New Day always likes to just be 2 people, so you could even do, as far as like a full heel team, you could do New Day along with the Cosmic Wasteland, and in either
Yeah.
situation, one person stays home. One people, either Woods sits
Whether it's
out,
Cody or Woods, right?
Cody or
Yeah.
Woods, right? Yeah, exactly. So either way, that's a great heel team. They'll work really well together. Cesaro, you could put him with the Dudleys and I don't know, maybe PTP, but they haven't been on TV in a while, so I don't know that they would. I don't know that they would. Oh, the Usos, duh. So they've made
Yeah,
their
Usos.
they've made their return. So Usos, Dudleys, and Cesaro would just tear the house down as far as energy is concerned. So that would be
Right.
that'd be a great face team, and they're people that have been on TV a lot lately, but just don't really have a storyline. And then
Right. The one wrench in
not
that though
having
is
the New Day on the pay per view
right.
is just dumb, in
Right.
my opinion. So.
The one wrench in that though, Duke, is that tonight Ryback saved the Lucha Dragons,
Oh yeah,
and you have Cesaro with from the New Day, and then you have Cesaro with the Dudleys and the Usos in that match. And listen, it's not wrong.
right.
I'm not right. You're not wrong because there's so many competitors that are not on the card
And that
that
have
could be on
had
the
TV
card
time.
somehow.
Well, and
Right.
now that you've got the pre-show taken up, unless they're going to do the weird thing where they have 2 pre-show matches, which means Sasha and Natalia will get shortened, by the way, which would suck.
Or I mean,
Um,
listen, it's on pre-show anyway, so it's going to get shortened. But I don't necessarily know that that's formally announced or it's speculated or it's
Okay.
rumored to be talked about it. I don't know what the official capacity of that match is.
Okay.
If Ryback had a partner in Cesaro, you can have Ryback, Cesaro, Lucha Dragons, Usos, and
Somebody.
somebody, Dudleys, versus Matador's Ascension, New Day, and Cody.
Well, you could even have a uh, 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 well, the Ascension is basically a stable with Cody now. But what was I
Well,
going to
this
say
was
for
the
the
first time in 2 weeks
faces?
they were
For the
seen
faces,
together.
you could do something where, I mean, you could do something unique, which we're going to talk about some other unique stuff. But you could do something really interesting and unique, and basically make a 5-on-5 with lumberjacks.
Yeah.
And you like all the people you just mentioned for your babyface team, that you have one representative that's actually in the match and one that's a lumberjack, which would be kind of interesting. Which means then you
That
could
would be
also
cool.
get
One
some.
member of a team on the ring, one member of the team on the bottom. Okay,
Right, yeah.
that's
So
cool.
you could
That's
do
cool.
some, and you could do that on both sides since you have bloat on both sides,
Yeah.
in that kind of scenario. So that's easy to do, and you could
Right.
even fill in with, if Sandow and Axel are going to be there,
Oh God, if
you could put
ever.
them. Yeah, if they were going to be there, you could put them on the outside. You could put Big Show and Mark Henry on that. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty because
Yeah.
people want to be part of this. I would imagine everyone in the back wants to be part of this show because it's 25 years of Undertaker. So I would imagine any way they can get people out there.
Yeah. She just had a 30-man battle royal on the pre-show just to get him on the card.
Yeah, that would have been cool too. But
Right. Right.
that's
Right.
where
Right.
I'm
Right.
at. That's where I'm at. Is that
Okay.
that would be sort of a normal thing to do. And again, I
Right.
don't, there's several people that I don't know how you have a pay per view without them. Cesaro
Yeah.
and the New Day. I just don't know
Okay.
how
And I'm gonna give you a list of
how
names
you
of
think.
people who are not on this card right now, but just to speculate, here is my tinfoil hat idea
All right.
about this this pay-per-view, and I'm gonna give you credit
Thank
because
you.
I always like to give you credit where you deserve it as much as I like to
Because I'm
go
the
out to the
casual.
extreme.
Because I'm the casual.
You're the casual Southern hick, no offense,
Right.
uh,
Right.
wrestling fan. Just you get hipster New York person. Come on.
Right.
So I know what you meant about the smart crowds, though. But
Yeah. Yeah. The smarks.
yeah, you
Smart crowds.
you brought this up on the preview show, and as soon as you said it, this light bulb went into my head, and I immediately wrote a 300-word essay about it. You said, "Why has no one been announced for this match yet? That's weird." And all
Yeah.
of a sudden in my head, I go, well, wait a second. When things are not announced and things are done on the fly, like stuff happens. So
Well,
of the people,
stuff has happened. I won't
stuff
say
has
that in
stuff,
recent
stuff,
history
stuff.
things
All
have
right,
happened. But yeah, I know what
stuff
you're
can
saying. Sorry.
happen.
See, I'm being a little bit
If
of a
that
hipster there.
if that question mark silhouette on the screen is not Randy Orton or Mark Henry or Big Show like it always is, or Jericho. Jericho's going to be in Germany, by the way. I wrote that down.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were gonna say it on the pre-show, like maybe Jericho could be the part. Nope, Fozzie's in Germany. I was gonna jump right on you.
No,
For that.
I'm
So,
just never gonna. I'm never gonna guess Jericho unless there's just like a really, really, really obvious reason to guess him.
like he's been wrestling on every house show for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
already.
something like that. Yeah,
All
like you
right,
keep hearing
so
about amazing matches with
yeah,
him and Kevin Owens or something like that.
yeah.
They're gonna put them
So it
together.
dawned in my head
All right.
that something has the possibility of happening, and often you're let down as a wrestling fan when stuff like that happens. But here are people who are not on the card.
All right.
The Dudleys, as it stands now, the Dudleys, the Primetime Players, the Lucha Dragons, the Usos, El Matadors, Ascension, Stardust, all three members of the New Day, Bo Dallas, Mark Henry, Big Show, Neville, Jack Swagger, Adam Rose, Damian Sandow, McGillicuddy with Axel, sorry, R-Truth, Cesaro, Ryback, The Miz, Barrett, and Sheamus. Now,
You forgot one very important person.
Hulk Hogan,
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater, and
Hashtag
Zack
hit
Ryder.
Slater's music. Oh yeah, and Zack
And Zack
Ryder.
Ryder.
Zack Ryder. There you
And
go.
they didn't even make my list of like the 18-on-18 traditional Survivor Series match that I wrote down the other day. Unfortunately, and not divas, male competitors.
Yeah. I got you.
So now of those people, the last two I mentioned were kind of like in my thought bubble
In your
when you
periphery.
mentioned the fact that nobody's wrestling yet.
Yep.
Now, this does take a little bit of uniqueness to it because it's not often you're going to have a pay-per-view that's going to crown a new champion and that championship match not be the main event, or at least concede to The Undertaker being the main event, especially since it's 25 years of The Undertaker. But I'm going to go way outside the bubble on this one and say that what if the card was Ambrose versus Owens to get the crowd hot, Reigns versus Del Rio in the second match, Ambrose and Reigns win, obviously, Triple H is infuriated that Reigns somehow won and orders the match to start immediately. So third match in,
The championship match. Right. Okay.
championship match, third match in, Ambrose and Reigns just wrestled. I mean, this is like a minute after that bell rings when he won.
And let's be honest
Reigns,
here. This is more like
yeah.
NXT booking than it is main roster booking. Let's just
This
go ahead
might
and
be
throw
more
that
like
out there.
TNA Vince Russo era booking more than it is. You know, this might be like,
Just
you
with
know,
better with admittedly better talent in a lot of ways.
roller games booking where like everything's just ridiculously absurd. But third match in, Roman Reigns beats Ambrose clean, no heel turn, face versus face match, nothing changes. And Helmsley is furious. Reigns gets the title, bails through the crowd, or whatever it is. It's over.
Sure.
Then you have the women's title match, and you have Breeze versus, you know, Ziggler after that. But meanwhile, in between segments, Triple H is so furious that he's ordering Reigns to compete again tonight in the traditional 5-on-5 match. Him and Ambrose, and joined by 3 people. Like, I want to say that Triple H is going to be so over the top steamed about this that he's going to put Owens and Del Rio in the match too, and be like, none of you guys got the job done. Reigns was not supposed to win.
He's just going to punish everybody for it.
Punish everybody. Put 4 of them in the match and then give them Cesaro or something.
Right.
Or leave it up to Reigns to pick his team.
Right.
So Reigns can take, let's not let Ambrose wrestle twice. Then now Reigns can take Neville and Cesaro and all the other guys that haven't wrestled yet and are not on the card. And then Triple H puts together his team, which includes the New Day, 2 members of the New Day. Going back to my list, 2 members of the New Day.
Cody.
Yeah, I guess Cody, Barrett, Sheamus. I don't even want to do Cody because Cody hasn't been pay-per-view caliber wrestler in their eyes in a while. But whatever the case may be, New Day, Sheamus, Barrett, Big Show. Okay.
All right.
So now you get the 5-on-5 match, and it's the main event because now you already had Roman wrestle twice, and now you're going to do the logical thing and just say, like, okay, in traditional way, we're going to order these matches. We're going to give him the maximum amount of time to rest before he has to compete again. Just not Reigns, but any competitors in general.
True.
Just to risk injury and stuff like that. So you have The Undertaker go, whatever, because whatever it is, it's going to suck the life out of the fans, and you don't want The Undertaker to follow that. So let's have The Undertaker go as the
because it's going to be because Survivor Series matches normally spot fest anyway. You know, you got to have the high spots to eliminate people. So
right. So okay, so we're going to have The Undertaker wrestle, and then we're going to come back to this traditional 5-on-5 main event that prior to the show had no competitors. Now it's filled with Roman Reigns having a team against Triple H's team.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So everyone's in the ring. Everyone gets eliminated. It comes down to, I'll keep it traditional to my idea that I talked to you about. We'll have Ambrose on the team. Reigns and Ambrose on Team Reigns versus Sheamus and Barrett on Team Authority.
Okay. Barrett
gets speared, pinned. Now it's 2-on-1 versus Sheamus. Let's see. How did I want this to go? I forgot how I did it. I did it so logically. It was good. But Barrett was pinned. He's still there. Now it's Sheamus versus Reigns or Ambrose in the ring. Somehow the 2 of them, Reigns and Ambrose, knock into each other. Ref goes out. Somebody knocks the ref out. Whatever. Ref spot. Ref bump. Now,
the Attitude Era has returned.
Triple H
that's
is
something we
going
need to put on
into
the list,
under the ring. He's going under the ring. He's going for the sledgehammer, right? Your idea.
Okay.
He's going for the sledgehammer. But what does he grab instead, Duke?
Instead of pulling out the sledgehammer, he pulls out that shiny gold briefcase.
Right.
That happens to belong to Mr. Sheamus at the moment.
Yes. And they don't even mention it the whole pay-per-view, but during this 5-on-5 match, he doesn't even come to the ring with it. But they cash it in first time ever, during the Survivor Series match. and Sheamus pins Reigns during the match to win the title.
Uh,
And whether Ambrose turns heel or not after the fact, who
you still
cares?
take the belt off of him at that point.
Well, no, he won't take the belt off of him because
No,
it's
no,
not
no,
on the line.
no. I'm saying you
Oh,
still take the
well,
belt off of Reigns
yeah.
at that point.
Oh, you take off, and that's how you screw Reigns if you
Right.
want to continuously keep screwing him.
Right.
He wins the title. Triple H does this whole thing, and then they cash in the Money in the Bank during a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match where Sheamus will pin Reigns. And maybe it's after him and Ambrose, Reigns and Ambrose kind of have a problem, and Ambrose does turn, gives him the dirty deeds in the ring, and then walks out. And then Sheamus cashes it in, pins him, wins, and and Soul Survivor and the championship and all that. And that's why you have to have it last. And that's why it's probably not going to happen.
Right.
Because you have to turn the order of this card so upside down that your champion is going to be crowned in the first hour.
Right.
Your Undertaker match is not going to be the main event. And then you're going to have the 5-on-5 Survivor Series match after that where Sheamus cashes it in during the match. And
it's bound to not happen because, again, that's some crazy booking. And WWE has shown a propensity to be overly traditional in their habits of late, and not throwing a lot of curveballs. A lot of things are telegraphed a little too hard and things like that, which is kind of where I'm going with Dean Ambrose making the turn or whatever. Is that they sure have been hinting at it hard. Harder than they ever have before.
For months.
So yeah,
for months.
Yeah, but I mean, like but now there's like an opportunity for them to really like put something in motion,
Right. And if it wasn't obvious, Barrett and Sheamus joined the Authority.
Oh yeah, right.
So in my, I don't think I officially said that, but that's the thing that goes here. Those are the two guys because Triple H has been talking to everybody in the tournament.
Right.
But what about outside the tournament if things fail?
Right.
And there you go. If Reigns walks away a winner, Barrett and Sheamus, and I only have Barrett there because if Ambrose doesn't turn, then Barrett needs to take out Ambrose so that Sheamus can get the pin, get the win, and then bring the title back to the Authority.
I'll tell you a couple things on that. So this is what would make the most sense to me would be because your U.S. title, your IC title, and your tag titles, they're all on heels right now. And putting the belt on a heel, whether it be Ambrose making a turn or Sheamus cashing in, makes a lot of sense. But what if they like all join the Authority? New Day is just kind of like whoever's, the big bad guy in charge will follow suit or whatever, even if they're complaining about not being in the main picture of everything. But what if Triple H had, I'm not talking Evolution or whatever, but basically you have an Authority stable where the Authority has all the titles.
Yeah, I liked it better if they didn't have the titles, the stable, and then won them all, like the.
Well, that would be cool too.
That one.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
Evolution did that at New Year's Revolution one year.
You can't really. That would be kind of weird at the moment, but
now you're just grabbing everybody who's a champion, and Owens is kind of like a lone wolf in a sense, and Del Rio and what's his name are doing the Mexico America thing, so they don't fit in with anybody else.
That's true. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So there's that. But the other thought I had was,
Barrett then winning the title, and then and then New Day can join them. That's perfectly logical.
Well, still, so there's a couple of things. So you could really, really mess with people in this scenario, which, again, we're both saying probably not going to happen. But if you wanted to be really fun, have some really creative booking, you could do something in this Survivor Series scenario where you do have Ambrose walk out, but he's not tagged in. And you have the big swerve with the briefcase and everything like that. What I would think would make the most sense would be Barrett and Reigns. If you did that scenario, you have Barrett and Reigns who come in and just destroy each other, and sort of it's obviously not going to have the same impact as Lesnar Reigns, but you could have something to that effect where they're both just kind of lying around. Sheamus is still in the match, right? but Sheamus doesn't cash in until after Barrett gets pinned. So Barrett gets pinned. Sheamus, then you do the thing with Triple H because he's just furious because, you know, maybe Sheamus is laying outside the ring about to get counted out or something like that, and Triple H throws him back in. Triple H goes under the ring and see that. Anyway, pulls out does very similar, right? Pulls out the briefcase, and everybody's like, "Holy crap!" And Sheamus makes it to his feet first, waits for Reigns. He actually lands the brogue kick instead of Reigns ducking it. He actually pins him. Holy crap, he's now the champion, right? Or, so that's one of three things I wanted to say on it. Or everything goes about the same way, except they just made their Survivor Series match, which you could actually still do this, right? You could do this in that scenario where you just keep swerving people. So Sheamus is celebrating like he's won the championship, and it says Roman Reigns has been eliminated. But they don't announce that Sheamus is the world champion. It's just a world championship match now. And Ambrose is still in the match. And he comes back in and wins the title. And so
no, that can't happen. That's like one of the few rules that they have suggested with the Money in the Bank. Is that he cashes it in for the title against the champion. It's not like he cashes it in and the winner of the match left over is the champion. It's because it's never been done within a match itself.
Yeah,
except for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and it was
the most recent time.
No, but that was a championship match to begin with, and Rollins just used the contract to put himself into the match. This is a Survivor Series match, not a championship match.
I see.
So that's where I'm saying it is if he cashes it in, it's
But see, it's like a match within a match. It's kind of weird.
It's a match within a match. It's now if he pins Roman Reigns right now, he's getting the title.
Yeah.
And if somebody else pins Roman Reigns or wins the match, it doesn't matter because Sheamus has the contract. Roman Reigns is the champion. It's got to be decided between those two.
Fair enough.
So, but listen, who knows what could happen if Triple H is pissed enough and they want to go creative,
right?
They can make the 5-on-5 like I speculated, like something I wish they would have done to begin with. They can make a 5-on-5 match later on for the championship, and Reigns has to outlast all 9 competitors. First, he's got to beat the other team, and then he's got to beat everyone else on his team that still remains to be the champion.
And the only person left would be Ambrose, something like that.
What's that? Yeah.
What's that?
He's fighting Ambrose for the second time tonight, and now Ambrose decides he's going to go dirty.
He's just like, I'm done with this.
I'm done having you back all the time. What stuff like that. But but that's it. I mean, that's a nice little speculation. I mean, that makes it exciting for me to watch this pay-per-view,
right?
To see just spitballing all these directions they can go in. It's kind of like, wow.
Well, and they really
exciting,
and they really can. They really can do all of this is within the realm of possibility. Again, the only big hitch is not making Undertaker's match matter as much. So
right, which I don't think it's kind of a boring kind of a match anyway to make.
It really is. It really is, but sort of.
How many times do I have to see Bray Wyatt lose, and how many times do I have to see Undertaker win?
Right.
It's a very quick storyline to something that could have been like grander, and could have been the Survivor Series 5-on-5, 4-on-4 match to begin with to end the show. But now you have to have the tournament because of Seth getting hurt, and you're only making it a tag team match, which then I guess because of that, that's why you don't have a tag team championship match, because you're really focusing, you don't want to water down the tag team matches that night.
What you could do though, we didn't even think about this. The 5v5 could be a tag team match. Like it could be a tag team championship match. I mean, that's like a really easy thing to do, where you just have a representative from all these tag teams and put them on each side, and you could really mess with you could do something at the beginning of the show where because they did something on SmackDown. Because New Day was just like, why aren't we? Like we're the New Day. Why weren't we in the
Yeah.
tournament? Why weren't we this, that, and the other?
That's
Um,
why I think they're going to go into that 5-on-5 match because
yeah,
they did
but
that whole spot with Ryback saving Kalisto and all that.
oh yeah, but there's that. So that means they probably it won't. I mean, who would be tagging with
I think
Ryback
those are
unless
either
they brought
6 or 5
Axel back?
guys, depending on if you put Woods in the match or not. And then you'll probably just take the other 6-man tag match that happened in the beginning and kind of just merge the two together
Yeah, just
and
hodgepodge
say
it all.
it's Ascension and Stardust versus
It's so
who
unfortunate,
is
isn't it? Because it's like there are people in that lineup that it would be a fantastic match if it were
yeah.
just like a tag team championship match or something like that. But
Well,
instead, it's
it's
going to
hard to
be
do a
this.
tag team championship match in a Survivor Series match.
Oh, I know that. I know. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, if it didn't have to be a Survivor Series match or
Oh
a
yeah.
traditional
Well,
Survivor Series
I
match,
think they
then
want to protect the Brothers of Destruction being the tag
the
team of
tag
that
team
night
match, right? Yeah,
and kind of not have a traditional tag team match just to
right.
protect that a little bit. And
That makes
then,
sense.
you
Yeah,
have the 5-on-5 anyway. So there's another tag kind of match. So
I think, and I'm just kind of throwing this out there. Maybe it was just sort of a subconscious hope that got us rolling on this whole thought process of this crazy schedule and everything like that. Because when it's all said and done, card's kind of boring. I mean, it really is. And so it's just like
who's born? I'm sorry.
the card is kind of boring.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, and so it's like
Absolutely.
it's kind of like
It's
something's got to
boring.
shake things up.
It's boring, but it's kind of like optimistically interesting at the same time.
Yeah, there's so
It's
many
like
things that could
yeah,
happen. Yeah, like they have so many opportunities to do very unique, interesting things, but they just haven't shown a lot of that they haven't made it a habit to do things very interesting and outside the box recently. I mean,
yeah.
like I think we talked about this earlier. Probably the most outside the box thing they've done since WrestleMania and Rollins getting the title was Kane and his dual personality. And a lot of that was on, Glenn Jacobs being just a great veteran in the business. So, um,
Yeah.
so anyway, yeah, um, that's where I am. Like, I love the idea. I absolutely love the idea. But there's the big but of it would just turn everything on its
Oh
ear.
yeah. I mean, you got to rearrange. You got to rearrange the card. Undertaker can't be
Everything.
the main event. Roman Reigns has to wrestle 3 times. I mean, and you got to really trick the fans. And I really believe they can trick the fans
They could.
into not remembering that Sheamus has the briefcase.
Oh well,
Just by the
yeah.
way
Oh, and that
they
was
have him
my
come
other
to the
thing.
ring.
Yeah, that was my other scenario is that he's not
Yeah.
even there, and it's like right when the match is supposed to be over, he shows up, and it could even be that Ambrose has walked out but hasn't been counted out, because he wasn't in.
Or Ambrose does the heel turn after the bell and then doesn't care enough to stop Sheamus from cashing it in.
Yeah,
Like he
something like that.
probably wouldn't like he was doing with Seth Rollins in the past.
Right.
Like every time you try to cash in that briefcase, I'm going to be there to stop you,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of deal.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, I really think they can trick the fans into not remembering that Sheamus has the briefcase just based on the chaos that's going to go on with Triple H trying to screw Roman Reigns.
yeah.
And then just the way you have Sheamus go to the ring, you don't do his normal entrance. He comes down in a group of people. He's not with briefcase. It's under the ring, planted under the ring already.
Yeah.
And it's really, and nobody's expecting it to happen
And
during the
nobody's
match.
nobody's
Maybe
saying
they'll expect
Mr.
it to
Money
happen
in the
after
Bank.
the match. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
that's about it. That's my take on Survivor Series.
All right. So I know you're sort of anchoring, but you got anything else in your bag of tricks that you wanted to
No,
talk
I
about, or is that's pretty much our big
was
thing?
scanning for a little bit of late breaking news or something regarding whether or not these
It's actually been announced.
matches have been announced or any breaking news, and well, nothing during the podcast. So
All right, cool. Well, make sure and follow me on Twitter. I know that sounds self-serving, but we just need to wrap this up. Follow me on Twitter at What's on the Screen right now, and all my other social stuff will be on the screen. And you can follow Larry at all the stuff that's on the screen for him, as you can see right there. So with that, I hope you all have a great week and enjoy Survivor Series, even if it, just find the fun in it. That's the best thing about wrestling. There's always something fun you can find. So find the fun in it. Focus on that. Don't hipster out. Don't let your mind be filled with negativity. Embrace the power of positivity. That's my go home, Larry. I'll let you take it from here.
All right. This might sound scripted, but later.
Bye, everybody.